Hello, welcome back to another video. Today, we are going to be talking about college basketball, obviously. And I'm personally going to talk about the AP poll ranking right now to you guys. And then we're going to talk about these upcoming games. And we are winding down the season. Who is going to be those teams that you need to watch out for in March Madness? Let's get to it. So, first things first, I have the top 25 pulled up for you guys, and we are going to go through it one by one. It was obviously a big week in college basketball. It was Duke, Michigan, and Arizona Houston week. Those two top four matchups throughout the country that we have to keep an eye on. And Duke is the new number one team after beating Michigan by 5 points in DC. Um, Duke, this is the first time they're the number one team this season. And to be honest, I don't know if they are going to lose another game. I know that their schedule from here on out isn't too rough. They got Notre Dame tomorrow, and after I'm looking through it, they got Notre Dame tomorrow. They got Virginia on Saturday, which is a ranked versus ranked matchup. NC State and then UNC, but we don't know if Caleb Wilson will be playing for a UNC game. Um, they could win out the rest of the way there. I don't see why that they don't, to be honest, unless Caleb Wilson's back. They have an easy game, and I don't think Virginia is going to be able to compete with them. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. I don't really sort of see a way they lose. Arizona's up to number two. They were at four to start the week after losing two, but they had a nice bounce back one versus Houston. Houston had a pretty rough week in the sport. Arizona looking to climb back up. Let's see if they can. I don't know if Duke's gonna lose another one. Like I said, they got Michigan, who was number three. They jumped down to Duke and them switch spots. Michigan's only losses are to Wisconsin and Duke. Um, Again, all these teams are fine. Nothing's really wrong with them at all. I think they'll be okay. Um, nothing too crazy. Iowa State's number four. They took a loss to BYU, but they were able to beat Houston. So it's just went up too, even though they took a loss to BYU. I bet they could have went up a little bit more, but unfortunately that loss to BYU is gonna hold them back a little bit. It's okay. Houston goes down three. They got a matchup tonight against the Jayhawks at Allen Fieldhouse. They're due for a win. I think both teams are due for a win, Houston and Kansas. This will be a great showdown tonight. But yeah, they had a rough week. They lost their last two, but they this is probably what's gonna happen. I mean, they're playing hard teams. They're due for a couple losses. I think they could probably get it done tonight at Allen Fieldhouse. UConn, despite the loss to Creighton, only goes down one. They were able to beat Villanova by 10 also in the week. So yeah. Florida has became, I think, the new team in college basketball to watch out for to win the national championship. I think they have the shot to win it. They didn't start off too hot, but they are on a roll now, jumping up five. One of the biggest risers of the week after being Ole Miss by about 19. Definitely a team to watch out for. Purdue, preseason number one, goes down one. Uh, I'm trying to think what happened to them this week. I know they beat Indiana by a lot. I don't know if they did anything else. Someone probably can correct me in the comments. I just don't remember. Their team's fine. I just don't think they'll be able to compete in March. I've been saying that. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of this Matt Painter's team. Brandson's great. Trey Coppin's great. I just don't know what to say about them. The Giants number nine. They're back to the top 10, and I'm not a big fan of it. I understand there's a couple hard teams in the conference. I always had the Gonzaga conversation. They're gonna be going to this Pac-12 league next year. I think it'll I don't really know how to feel about it. I don't know if there's even harder competition there. I mean, I think the this conference that Gonzaga's in right now, the West Coast Conference, can put in maybe two, three bids. I think Santa Clara might get in there or St. Mary's team might get in there, but that's it. And I don't even know if any of those teams from the newly found Pac-12 next year will be able to produce that many teams getting in. Michigan 27-2. It is what it is. Illinois, I think a team that can go to the Final Four doesn't go anywhere after losing to USA in overtime by one. Their team is still fine. This is a must-win, I think, game for Mick Cronin if they want to have a say where they can get put in March Madness because it was starting to go downhill for them a lot. It was kind of getting toxic behind the scenes. Good that they won this one. Illinois is still fine. Virginia's up to number 11 in the country now. Had a nice win against Miami. They were able to survive by a little bit. Um, Only have three losses in the season. I don't think people are recognizing that Virginia is that good. I haven't been a big fan of their team, but they only have three losses, which is pretty impressive. Nebraska going down three. I think people had Nebraska to win national championship at some points. They had them going all the way there. Let's go up the train now because I'm not going to be that person, but I hope I don't get clipped when we get to March Madness and they're like in the national championship game, they're not making it that far. Sweet 16 maybe. I I just don't where they're looking at right now, maybe like a 3 or 4 seed right now is where they're looking at. They win their first matchup. I think they'll win their second. We stop right there. Their team has kind of fallen apart. I understand it's injury issues, but they just really never got back on the train. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of the team anymore. Is what it is. I want to see them win their first March Madness game now. So that'll be great for them. Michigan State up to Michigan State. What I need to see from them, I need more guard play besides Jeremy Fears Jr. Jeremy Fears Jr. is a top three guard in the Big East. Not the Big East, the Big Ten. I think it's him. I think it's Braden Smith. And I think it's Ben Sturts. And you could argue about Bruce, but I think that's the easy top three. Um, the issue is there's just not another guard on the team that's like really good. It's just him all the time. It feels like they're playing like a 4-and-5 every time. It's just Fears is just always doing something else. But yeah, Kansas jumps down six after that horrible loss at Allen Fieldhouse, and Darren Pearson actually played the whole game. He actually played like the whole time, and he still put up the same amount of points as he did like in that Oklahoma State game. Um, you heard my rant about that. If you didn't hear about it, go in the last video. It's probably somewhere. Um, Darren Peterson is still a great player. I still love Darren Peterson. Just this injury, he the only if he's that hurt, there's an issue. He should have this was start of season issues. I was like, okay, this should be fine now. We're near March and he still is cramping. It just shouldn't be happening that long. And then second of all, if it's not that mentality and he's not that hurt, he just doesn't care about his team. It speaks a lot of volumes that you can't be on the court for your team and care about them. It's actually insane. I think he should be disappointed. So he's trying to pull himself out of this so he can be prepared for the NBA and everything, but it's hurting his team. This team could be like top 10 in the country right now, and now they're not because he decided to mess around. And it's causing a big distraction on this Kansas team that could go to the Final Four. Actually had a shot at the national championship, but I'm not convinced. They know how to play without him, but when they play with him, it's like a big distraction. That's just me. I don't like it. Bill Self is annoyed. I'm annoyed. Mhm. St. John's up to 15. Looking to challenge UConn as the best team in the Big East. I think they can, to be honest. This Big East conference looks like they're about to get three bids. UConn, St. John's, Nova probably gonna be the three bids there. Seton Hall's like fighting for their life. I don't know. They don't have really that many opportunities to get up there and prove themselves unless teams start to slip. So I'd go have those three. St. John's has been a great team these past couple of weeks. I am very proud of them. Um, everyone had their doubts in them when they were preseason ranked number five, but like I said, Rick Pitino was going to turn it around no matter what. I knew they were making no matter what, but they've been turning around really nicely. Texas Tech is down three after they lost to Arizona State, but they had a nice win versus Kansas State. Texas Tech is a hard team too, dealing with the JT Toppin injury. It's like they are on this fence of people had them going to the Final Four. Now everyone's kind of being like round 32. I'm kind of on the round 32 fence too for him here. If they get slated with a like tough second round matchup, I don't like taking them. I don't want to. It's not that Christian Anderson can't do it by himself. It's how are they going to do it without JT Toppin? That's what I'm just trying to say. Bama goes up 8 spots, biggest riser this week. LeBaron and LeBron had a great game. I was trying to think of who else had a great game. Amari Allen had a great game. That Arkansas Alabama game was one of the best games of the year, if not the best game of the year. Just high productive offensive scoring. If you love the offense, amazing game. They beat LSU also this week. Bama's right back in it, and they only have 7 losses, and their 7 losses are probably all, if I could think about all pretty tough losses that they took. UNC is going to drop down two. Obviously, they lost to NC State by like a billion, but there it'll be Syracuse. And UNC has to play Louisville tonight. They still aren't gonna have killables until that either at last game versus Duke, or they're gonna start when he plays in the ACC tournament. I don't know what's gonna be. Uh, Caleb wants to go back on the court as soon as possible. I wish Darren had the same mentality, but he doesn't. So yeah, BYU up four. amazing win against Iowa State. I doubted them. I was like, they're not gonna win. Blah, 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 blah. They finally got a good one. So good for Debanza and them. I want to see this team do good. Again, the Richie Saunders injury is kind of like in my head still that he's not coming back for the rest of the year. But maybe they're fine. Maybe they're fine. Arkansas is going to stay where they are. They had a nice win against Missouri by 8. Unfortunately, that loss to Alabama doesn't move them anywhere. Not unfortunately, but they would have loved to win this one, obviously. They get leapfrogged over them. Um, Miami, Ohio, sitting at 27-0, will be at number 21. They're challenging into the top 20, just off there by like a 20 something points. Love their team. Love them. Now, are they going to go run in March Madness? In my opinion, no. I don't think so. I think they'll win their first game, and then second game they'll probably lose round 32. But I want to see this team go far. I just don't think a team that's ever been this good in the regular season, who's played no one hard, has ever like done good. I don't know if there's ever been a team like this even. This season's been crazy. But yeah, Tennessee stays at number 22. They are playing fine basketball. They just got ranked over Vanderbilt. Um, yeah, I like their team. I like their team a lot. I just don't. They're just so unexpected. I don't really know what to say about the team. Nate Emmett's been good. Jacoby Gillespie's been great. It's just their team's kind of different every week. It's like they'll have either an easy matchup they'll win, and then they'll play a little hard matchup that they either lose by a lot or they'll win by like 4 or 5. So I don't know how to feel about the team, but they're consistently getting ranked or being unranked. St. Louis, I know took a loss to tough loss to Rhode Island. I know they didn't get them anything, but they're able to beat VCU, like one of the best teams in the A10. Mark my words, you can clip this, let's say is a 23rd of February. St. Louis will be a Cinderella team. As long as they don't get slayed with a hard physical team, I could easily see them making the Sweet 16. And if they're not slayed hard for hard matchup, Elite Eight. This will be this year's Cinderella team no matter what. They have so many great shooters on the team that are amazing. I love St. Louis. St. Louis is one of my favorite teams. Robbie Vea, one of my favorite players. Trey Green, one of my favorite players. They're so good. They can shoot no matter where they are, as long as they just don't have to defend, like have a hard like rebound battle. They're good. If they go delve that, it's unfortunate. They're sitting at 25-2. Amazing. Really proud of them. Louisville goes down 3. I forgot what happened to Louisville. I know they lost. Was it no? I forget who they lost to, but they did take a loss this week. That's why they're down 3. But they got a chance to get right back up when we play UNC tonight. I think Ryan Conwell and Michael Brown Jr. have really been playing great basketball. They just got to get back into the rhythm of things. Um, just take the loss and be able to come back from it. And Vanderbilt's going to round it off at number 25, down 6. Um, it's all right. Vanderbilt has really fallen off since the start of the season. And not saying that they're bad, it's just kind of concerning to see that you have kind of lost all your power. I know Duke Miles has been hurt a little bit, but maybe they can get right back on track. Now, after it's a big drop off with other teams receiving votes, Wisconsin obviously was the big one. They had two of the best wins in the country at some point. Now they're just off the list because they lost to Ohio State. St. Mary's is also there. Villanova, I don't think they have a chance of getting ranked at this point. I know they got St. John's, but they looked awful against UConn. I was there in person. Um, Personally, what I have to say about it is that first half, they played great defensive ball, but that three ball was ugly. 3 for 15 from the three ball, and they were still only down like 2 going to half. Then I went to go get a pretzel. They're down 10, and they just couldn't score anymore, and that game was over. Miami got 10 votes. I think they had a great almost being Virginia would have got them ranked maybe. They got Utah State, NC State, SMU, A&M, Iowa, UCF, High Point, Stephen F. Austin, and Navy all getting votes this week. We are coming down to the wire here in college basketball. So, all right. So I have this graph up that I just found on Brachyologist. I will screen share it with you guys. It'll be a little screen right here. So this is the net versus KenPom's scatter graph. As you can see, you can read it right here. This graph utilizes the net and KenPom rankings along with this previous year statistic to help decide which side of a bubble the team is on. So basically, as you can tell, I'm just gonna show you. The cutoff right now for 2025 is what's in this red, this red right here. It's the nets going this way, is what the NCAA uses, and the KenPom is what um they also used by KenPom Array, which is rated by efficiency. So basically, teams like over here, obviously they're fine. Teams like a Alabama, teams like a St. Louis, teams like a Utah State. Love Utah State this year, by the way. I think they could go somewhere nicely. Same for the Billikens. I was talking great about them earlier. Could be sleep watchers. Um, if we want to go back to last year, though, like every year is different for cutoffs for the bubble. As you see, from 2024, it was cutthroat, cutthroat. As you see, the line for their cutoff right here is right here. It's this line right here. So it was basically like gotta be like top 20 in both for the cutoff for you to make it. Now, right here though, you want to be that this is where it was last year. And looking at teams that probably are gonna make it in, Miami High is just way out of their league. It's kind of crazy. It's the biggest indifference with KenPom and the net, but they're gonna get in this year, so that's something that we don't have to look at. Um, UCLA looks like they're gonna get in. With their win that they just had, I think everyone from Alabama to like my Miami looks like they're gonna get in now. Texas possibly. St. Clair's in. Texas might be in. A&M's in right now. UCLA looks like they're gonna get in. From everyone to like UCLA looks like they're gonna be in. Now over here we're drifting off. We're drifting off over here, and I'm gonna talk about it here. Oklahoma State has no chance with how hard their schedule's been. I want them to get in, but no. Creighton, they have no more chances at basically getting in unless they win their conference, like Oklahoma State. Northwestern's a big no. I'm surprised they're even still on this board. Um, Promise is a no. Oklahoma, those SEC schools like Oklahoma and LSU still have a shot because you still play hard teams every week, and like one or two of them get you right back in. Oklahoma had a couple big wins, and they're still alive on this board. Colorado, Arizona State are news. Florida State don't count on it. Stanford don't count on it. I don't mind Cal. Cal's a good team right now. I just think they need another big win. Same for USC. They need another big win too. Um, and then there's a big bubble battle going right now. TCU and Central Florida. Those two teams are neck and neck from each other. And TCU wouldn't be there if they didn't lose to New Orleans that first game. But that's what we've came to here. Both teams are kind of fighting for their life every day with wins. And if they don't get wins, it's kind of rough because you can't. It's neck and neck. If one of them loses, the other one has another chance at coming right back and making it in there. But it's rough for both teams. I think they've both taken unnecessary losses at some points. And looking at both their schedules, um, Central Florida's got BYU, Baylor, Oklahoma State, West Virginia. That could be a nice schedule that might play out nicely for him. And TCU, the Horned Frogs, they gotta go Arizona State, Kansas State, Texas Tech, Cincinnati. So they might both go 3-1 in their matchups. But it's gonna count that head to head that they had, I think, and Central Florida won that. So it's gonna be really neck and neck to see if they play one more time in their conference tournament, it really might decide who's getting in. It's actually insane. It's a great battle to kind of watch out for. Um, yeah. So that's I just want to look at that. It's a nice, interesting graph to look at. We have a couple games to predict going into tonight. Tonight, about a couple minutes actually. Louisville, UNC. This video is gonna be out like after this game's done. So I'm not gonna post that who won, but Louisville's fair by 3.5. I'm taking Louisville tonight. I think Mikael Brown Jr. and Ryan Conwell are going to be just all over them. Nothing wrong with UNC. Vesar came back, had a great game at Syracuse. I just think this team's been dead since Caleb Wilson's been dead. So yeah, unfortunately, we go Louisville. Would love to see UNC win now. Game of the night, Houston, Kansas. Houston's coming to Outfield House, and I kind of lost hope in Kansas. Not saying it's not going to be a good game. Houston's favored. My thing is Cincinnati walks in to Allen Fieldhouse and blows up the whole team, blows everyone up. What makes you think that they can't possibly do that? Houston can't do that. If Cincinnati can do it, anyone can do it. So I'm going to Houston tonight. Um, just me, I don't know. Over under Darren Peterson 17.5 minutes. Is he actually gonna over under 5.5 times Darren Peterson gets asked to sub out the game? I want to see him play this whole game because remember he sat in that Arizona game and it looked really bad on his resume. This is another top matchup he could play, and yeah, Darren barely played that Iowa State game too. So let's see him playing a big matchup for once, okay? And then going into Tuesday, Miami High is going to try to keep their streak alive against Eastern Michigan. They'll win. They'll win. They'll be 20-0 as of tomorrow. And then moving along over there, the big matchup and tomorrow, no ranked versus ranked team matchups. Uh, Tennessee's playing Missouri. That is something to watch out for because Missouri is a bubble team as we speak. But everyone else, nothing really too big going on. Wednesday, St. John's, UConn rematch. St. John's was able to get the best of them last time. Will UConn bounce back or will they fall apart again? We'll find out in due time. But I am going to go with the UConn team here. I think they have to bounce back. They're at home. They just killed Villanova. And I know it doesn't say that on paper, but they were killing them. Um, I love Villanova. They could probably bounce back from it amazingly, but UConn's just such a good team. This will be a great game though. Again, um, looking around, nothing else really too crazy over here. Thursday, Michigan State, Purdue, battle of the point guards. Jeremy Fears versus Varian Smith. Who's got more assists? I just need that to like be a question. We need I want that to be a line. Who's gonna have more assists? Either gonna be Jeremy Fears or Braden Smith. So I'll go Braden Smith. But it's gonna be such a great game. I'm very excited for that one on Thursday. And then Friday, Michigan, Illinois, uh at 8 o'clock on Fox. Very excited for that one too. I think Illinois might be a team that we watch out for here. I think this is if it's a team that can get physical with Michigan, the teams that can beat Michigan are the physical ones. We learned that Wisconsin can do it. Uh Duke did it. Illinois can do it too. I'm not too opposed to taking Illinois on Friday. And then when we get to Saturday, there's some great games going on. Villanova St. John's is coming on. Virginia Duke's going to be a good one. Um, Kansas, Arizona for the second time this season. Will Darren actually play? Texas Tech, Iowa State. Bama, Tennessee. Last time Bama didn't win that one. Can they win without Bediaka this time? I mean, they even win with Bediaka. Let's see if they can win without him. And then St. Mary's Gonzaga, everyone's favorite matchup, and the Western Coast Conference. It'll be a great time to see that. And Sunday, Purdue, Iowa State, Ohio State, and Michigan State, Indiana. We have some great games going on. Very excited for them all. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.